Once again say good morning and thank you for responding to our request. I don't call this a conference per se, I call it a press chat, just a means of bringing ourselves up to date on certain issues. Thanks to all of you for being here. Well, as you know, we're about to go into what I call phase 3 of our interaction with the international community. Many of you may recall I went to the U.S. in February. The purpose of that visit was to go and extend, on behalf of the Liberian people, appreciation to the U.S. Congress, appreciation to President Obama and his administration for all the support that was given to us, and also to give them a status report on our fight against the virus. After that, we went to Brussels on the 3rd of March, and that was to meet with the European Union members as well as international organizations that had joined us in the fight. And at this particular meeting, we decided that the 3 countries, having been in touch with each other and agreeing that we need a regional approach to fighting the virus, the purpose of that was to engage the European Union members and to present to them our thoughts about this regional approach so that the 3 countries will be coming together and getting away from the bilateral arrangements in which the United States support Liberia, UK support Sierra Leone, France support Guinea, but to see us all as 3 countries in the same boat, requiring the same kind of support and responses from all our partners. This third one is back to the United States, where we're going to meet the international finance community. This is a World Bank and IMF meeting. I will be joined by President Nkrumah and President Condi, and we will be discussing with the members of the World Bank and the IMF our post-Ebola reconstruction plans. The plan is both national and regional. Regional, of course, centering around being able to enhance interconnectivity of our different sectors that will not only help us to contain the virus, but also to build along the borders the facilities that will enable us to build a resilient healthcare system. It's not a substitute for our own national plans. We are all at different levels of development in our goals, but the regional aspect of it is important to ensure that we are able to manage any infection control in the future at any of the 3 countries. And so this is where we are in that. I just wanted to brief you on that. Today I just came back from receiving a large consignment of things from the Republic of China. And China, we will be engaging them in trying to put the private sector, as we've always done, at the center of our development agenda. Many of you may know that our priorities are very consistent with both our Vision 2030 as well as our Agenda for Transformation, the 5-year phase of that overall agenda. And that agenda is going to stress, first of all, a health system that is able to respond to our needs, and then education, agriculture, infrastructure, and good governance. Of course, whatever we do, peace is at the foundation. And so the unmilled transition is also something that we will be discussing with people from the UN. We've been holding those discussions here with our security team, and that transition is ongoing. We must make sure that we work with them to ensure that our security sector is able to take the responsibility for the protection of the nation. You also know that I continue to be involved in international promotions of things such as the the new post-2015 global agenda. I'm still working on that. That agenda is being negotiated by the different regions, and we expect that those negotiations will end sometime between June and July, and in September, the new global agenda will be presented and will be voted upon by the United Nations during the General Assembly. There are other things that we are working on, but I'm quite sure that you are more than up to date on those. On some local issues, maybe I'll leave that to you in this chat, because there are many local issues going on. But some of the most important one for us is the ongoing constitutional reform, our own plans for trying to get our agenda going, to get people back into the country, particularly the contractors and the concessions, the economic stress that is being faced because of the mining sector and the agriculture sector. The mining sector, with the price of iron ore being sharply reduced, as well as the price of rubber. The challenges to us will be, how can we put into place some diversification to be able to keep the economy moving. Support will come, but at the end of the day, we think we have to do much more in the area of agriculture, our marine resources, some of our traditional crops of oil palm and whatnot. So this is it. Mr. Minister, let me open it up. Like I say, it's a chat, so I expect that I will listen to some of your issues, some of your suggestions, some of your comments, and take some of your questions.
Madam President, I'm Sanu Mo from the Images magazine. I want to commend the government and the international community for all the efforts in significantly reducing the Ebola virus in our country. But Madam President, there's a huge outcry from health workers for their incentives. What is being done to address this situation?
Can we, at least you went one, oh, you haven't gone yet? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Madam President, thank you for this opportunity. Just for my suggestion, and last one will be a question. Just an appeal on behalf of the community colleges that are making some impact across the country, but are also complaining that they have very low budgetary appropriation, and that's making it difficult for them. And also, the technical institutions too, they are also complaining. So it's only for that. You guys do that. The last one is, what do you make of former Secretary Clinton's bid for the presidency in the USA?
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to know, what do you envision when you talk about a resilient healthcare system? Because prior to the EVD, confidence and trust in our health system was waning. Many public officials or ordinary citizens have had to travel either to Ghana, Nigeria, the United States. Can we see under your administration that resilient healthcare system you're talking about, where confidence can be in our national health structure? Number two, your fight against corruption often has been criticized. Many believe that you haven't been too robust. Take, for example, government-oriented institutions, anti-graft institutions like the GAC or the LACC. When public officials are being mentioned in those reports, while we are awaiting further investigations or prosecution, there's the feeling that you don't take action to either suspend or ask these individuals in government to remove themselves while investigation is pending. Added to that, some of your officials also go to the extent of trying to equate the fight against corruption in the public sector to other corruption in all spheres of society, whether at the market level, when you're talking about public resources. So I want to know, why are you so reluctant in taking action and asking some of these officials to remove themselves while these investigations are ongoing? Thank you.
The health workers, we keep paying and paying and paying. We started off with a 3 months, we put hazard pay, on top of the regular pay. We did it first for public facilities. The private sector complained that they too were at risk. Yes, they are correct. And so we had to pay for the private hospitals and the private clinics. We stretched it out from 3 months to 6 months to be able to do it. The number of healthcare workers are many. It takes money. I think some estimate of 21 million will be required to pay all that they have requested. So there's a great effort to pay them. But the demand is so high, and it's coming just like the schools. The private schools have said to us they could not open if we did not put up money for them to pay their teachers for the period of Ebola. We had to put that money up to get the private school to open. So the demand is heavy. Ebola has just intensified it. A great percentage of the government budget goes on salaries because of the social problem of not wanting to lay off large number of people. And so the budget strain is very heavy. So the workers, we continue to meet their requests. We continue to do it. The Ebola period is over. We cannot continue the hazard pay. What we will do is ensure that all of them get on the payroll, which is what they have requested. And that process is on. I hope we can get some support for that.
Great job.
Isn't it time for the greatest nation of the world to have the greatest gender in charge?
Oh.
That decision is not left with me or anyone other than the people of the United States of America. Let's hope that they choose well. Resilience.
Health sector. What's your meaning of that?
When I say resilience in the health sector, it means going beyond what we had already achieved. If you have traveled around this country, I'm sure you would have seen that you saw a lot of health facilities in which it says all services in this place are free. If you've traveled, I'm sure you've seen it. And that's because they were stressing first just healthcare, basic healthcare. That was what the emphasis was on. What that meant is that resources went toward that rather than buying this equipment that is needed to stop people from going to Ghana or America or other places, meaning building it, the John F. Kennedy as a referral center, the Jackson Doe Center, all of the other ones, the big ones, and that's what we are now going to concentrate on. If you notice outside the Ministry of Health, you see a structure going up there. That's going to be a disease control center, a research center, to make sure that we continue to follow the Ebola and what we can do about making sure we do infection control. JFK, different proposals are being looked at now. We talk about 3 regional healthcare centers that will be properly equipped. We have a problem with doctors, with the number of doctors. We have working now to see if we can recruit doctors from other African countries or elsewhere and get, one of the things we'll be talking in Washington is getting the international community to support the recruitment of those doctors, to infuse them into the system because we don't have enough. We don't have enough nurses that are trained, and it takes time to train. So this program, you will see, this program will be released as something we're going to discuss to get these centers, to get a few hospitals properly equipped to modern standard to be able to do the kinds of tests that will enable us to be able to something. So please bear with us on that. I challenge you to say that we don't fire people or we don't dismiss people or we don't do something when somebody is charged with corruption. We certainly do. Now, sometimes we have the issue because we have a system in which they keep telling us, I cannot speak because somebody is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Mm-hmm. And so what do? I can fire, I can suspend, and I do, but I cannot get on the air. Something I ask sometimes, I say, why don't we just, shackle the person and have something about it. And the Minister of Justice tells me you can't do that. You can't do that because it has to go through a proper thing. And let me say to you, I wish you were helping me in this fight. There's a way you can help me in this fight. Not through banners, accusatory banner stories, but helping us to look into it and get the facts. The facts then will enable us to move faster than if you just, if you accuse somebody, well, that's your right, you can do that. But that makes it more difficult for our people to be able to take a case and to win a case. Please, I believe that the Solicitor General was on the air the other day, and I believe she went through the different steps and the different progress that she was making, So, please, give us a little bit of credit. The fact that every day we're talking about it is, in my opinion, very good, because it's not under the table anymore. It's there for everybody to talk about. We've got some good whistleblowers that are giving us information. I wish you were giving us on a whistleblower basis instead of a banner basis, because that will enable us to do much more in trying to bring somebody, But,
Increase budgetary support for community colleges.
Oh, okay. I see Front Page Africa laughing because they the mean one can come up, what it can come up with? What? Diminishing president. Diminishing Iron Lady. You know something? That's the game of politics. I descend as others rise to take over. You waiting for that day, I'm waiting for that day.
Increase budgetary support.
Increase budgetary support.
To community colleges.
Well, no, you are correct. But there's an issue that's been raised with me about community colleges. I don't know if that's the right answer because I have to get people to look at it. The colleges have by and large been managed by the local officials, the local caucuses, and that has created some problems in terms of selecting proper management, in terms of ensuring proper accountability and whatnot. So we're looking at, should those become University of Liberia campuses? They will bringing them on some other, or do we make sure we look at their boards again and make the boards independent of any kind of political interference so that they can operate properly? But we do need to do something about it, to give it the support, but to ensure that management and accountability are satisfactory in all of them.
That's it.
It's from the Telegraphic newspaper. My concern has to do with the Man-Corporate Hardwood project. A few years back, Liberian people were promised that come December 2015, the torrents going to be turning, the electricity going to be flowing through. Given the debacle of the Ebola crisis, are we still confident that come December this year, the torrent is going to be on?
President, the name is Titi Chibrik, and I report for LIB 24. I want to know whether you are aware of the situation of the girls, Liberian girls in Lebanon. And if you are aware, what are you doing in making sure that these girls are brought back? It is to our knowledge that about 100 of them are there, and 10 of them have been brought back according to the Minister of Labor. He said 10 of them are in the country, but reports we're getting is that they are at cattle high, that is supposed to be operating compound. Why are they being kept there, and when is the process going to start for someone who is responsible for trafficking them allegedly? When is Abbas going to be brought to justice? Thank you.
It's often said that when successors are seen from distance before getting to the political platform, I'd like to know, Madam President, who are you growing in terms of success? Since we have 2 years, perhaps to exit government, we'd like to know who is this person. And then
Two, the issue of LISCA. It's our understanding you submitted a bill to the legislature for passage for the extension of 10 years into LISCA agreement when there is yet 5 years to elapse. We'd like to know what's the rationale for you doing this when you are equally expected to exit after 2 years.
After a 1-year delay because of Ebola, we are not going to turn those turbines on December 2015. The target it is now December 2016. Right now, even the contractors are not yet back. We're still persuading them. They've all declared force majeure. They're all asking. The price of the facility have gone up. Because of that, you're not talking about a low-cost facility there. You're talking something that's well over $320 million. And so that money is coming from others, but we've got the money all arranged. The biggest thing now is to get the people to come and do it. The order for the turbine has been made. The contract was just signed. You will see them building the camp for the people who will come and work on there. So you will see a lot of activity going on. Some Liberians have won some contracts too. So, it's moving, but it's going to be delayed. Girls in Lebanon, we are very concerned about that. I believe the Minister of Labor was on one of your programs.
Yes.
And he went through exactly what is being done. They went to Lebanon to assess the situation. Yes, there are more girls than the 10 that were brought, and they're trying to get them back. Don't forget that, some of them disappeared for whatever reasons. They're trying their best to get all of them back. They're getting all the information to be able to do that. The 10 girls are safe. They have what you call witness protection, and that is what they are under. They are safe until the case is brought, when they get all the information to be able to see the perpetrators. And so, believe me, this is something that is of interest not only to me personally, but interest to the government generally. It's a serious thing that we all must work on. The girls must come back. But the whole arrangement, the process by which people can exercise their freedom. We do have freedoms under the Constitution. People can travel at will. We cannot stop them and say you cannot travel. They don't have to tell us anytime they travel. But now we have to have a mechanism where there must be a way to have them recorded when they travel and see where they go, and have somebody who will represent us to follow their movements and make sure that they are protected. I almost want to make a joke on this one and go back to Representative William. You know how he answers people when they ask him questions like that? He said, "Are you?"
All right, let's take the...
No, I don't think, Dennis, you really want me to get into that right now. Yeah, I tell you, I'm trying to concentrate on development. Give me 1 year. 1 year. Next year we'll get to that one. But then when I get to that one, it will not be diminished. When I get it, I will be strong.
You put everything inside.
Yeah, I'll get everything I got. So
let's take the...
So don't think something with that person who will be there. We have to have my blessing.
LISCA.
The last one.
The LISCA agreement was amended because the Maritime Commissioner had negotiated a change in the percentage of benefits. Instead of getting, I don't even want to get to the number, but he can give you the detail, so that we get a larger share, of the funding from it. And quite frankly, he wanted to lock that in very quickly, because 5 years, we still got 3 years of this, will only be 2 years. If he didn't lock it in, somebody else will come and have to look at the whole thing again, which they have a right to anyway. They'll be able to look at it. But he wanted to make sure that this government was able to get more from the program right now, instead of waiting, until someone else does. So, but I do suggest that you discuss it with the Maritime Commissioner. I'm sure he can go through all the amendments and why those amendments, were made. But as far as I know, those amendments were made in the national interest. And so I consented, and I agreed with it and sent it forward, and the and the legislature went through it, and they too agreed with it, and so those arrangements are in place. But they're subject to the same kinds of review every 5 years, like every other agreement is.
Rule of Poverty from the Barrow newspaper. As a patient await for the government in 2017, I will let you remember about the media.
Brother, I'm probably from the New Vision newspaper. July 26th was scheduled to be celebrated in Sano and Grand, and was rescheduled because of some other conditions that were not met. Are we on course? And number 2 question, Ebola had left several children, motherless and fatherless. Does government have any plan to help this?
During your campaign in 2005, what most of us understood that you were bringing to the table for our country in the rebuilding process was an excellent level of education. No one doubted your quality of education attained and exhibited around the world. It has been several years now. Our sector of education, I don't know, seems to be going down from what it previously was prior to your ascendancy to the presidency. A year or 2 ago, you turned it a mess. Until now, we have not seen or heard anything tangible done to clean up the mess, owing to mass failures at U.S. entrance, unqualified Liberians graduating from high school and from university. I have been auditing a few classes recently at various universities, and my findings have been very perturbing. The educational material presented to our university students are below the par. Our students, I'm telling you, are nowhere near people who should graduate. Most of them are nowhere near people who should graduate from university. It's the current reluctance, a tacit yes to the failure that our education sector is going through. And would you turn your unsuccessful drive to clean up the mess as one of the major failures of the double-term regime, Madam President?
Or not, I would be remembered as giving the media the best and widest freedom they have ever had in this country. Whether you like it or not, whether you say so or not, it's true. I will be remembered for that.
Do you agree? Sign up.
We will celebrate July 26 in Greenville and Barclayville, July 26, 2015. We will. I didn't tell you we have a paved road. I didn't tell you we have all the cities electrified. I didn't tell you we have all of that. When we say we'll have it there, we didn't do it. But we have the celebration in Greenville and Barclayville. So please just join us for it. Get there the best way you can. But I hope you'll be able to ride there. Yes, we are responding to the Ebola victims. The Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare is now in charge of that. And they have so many safe homes that they are supporting with food and other care. Our biggest challenge will be to make sure we get them integrated in communities so that they are not stigmatized by living in specific places where people do not see them as normal, because they are normal. They are cured and they need to be, some of them we have to find guidance for them or get other people who are willing to take them. If their fathers and mothers have died, and we need to find people who are willing to bring them into their homes so they can be normal again. But that obligation is ours and is being met.
Education.
The education system is a tough one. I can tell you that. But there's been a lot of progress. That system is the microcosm of every other thing in this country. You need to go think about that. It's the microcosm of everything else that's also wrong with us here. What we've tried to do is to turn it around. The reason people fail WIAB exam and failed it more so in the latter years is because the system got tough. The system got tough where they couldn't cheat or buy it or share the information by putting people there. So the going down was simply because action had been taken to stop the cheating. The university system, I don't have to tell you, when it was tightening it, why you think so many people failed? Because Doba Jala and what's her name, went and put in a system where you couldn't cheat. Dr. Brownell, the two of them, put a system where you couldn't cheat. That's why so many people fail. So those are the kinds of actions that we're taking, but it's not enough. Improving the level of teaching quality requires training of people. And you gotta have people who are trainable. Too many of our young people do not even want to go into the teaching profession because they think it's not as something as others. Our plan now is to try to, as we're doing with the health system, to bring in a lot of teachers. We've already done that in certain cases. We had teachers here from Nigeria. We want to see if we can expand the numbers. Please give Mr. Warner the support that he needs so you can see some of the things that perhaps is long, is late, but I think he's up to the task. And I think you will see a lot of changes come in the next year because of his effort and the effort of the new team that is being put into place. So please help him, eh? Don't start writing bad stories again. Give him a chance, small chance, so he can do the work that needs to be done.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Maybe we'll take a final wrap-up comment from the president. Today is a very, very tight day. Thank you for being here, but we'll take a wrap-up comment from the president.
Again, just to say that we value the partnership. The success or lack of success of any government will also depend upon how they can interact, how they can work, how they can partnership with the media. I wish we had more opportunity, more processes, and I welcome some of your comments as to how we can establish the process that will enable the opportunity for more exchange, for more information sharing, for being able to really see some of the things that we do from our vantage point, because we're not out there every day, talking, or every day writing things. But I do believe that the international community, and I can say to you that they have their own intelligence, and their intelligence is sometimes better than our intelligence when it comes to what's going on. And so when they make a judgment, and when they say good things, it's because they know it, and because they have the intelligence that tell them some of these things. So we wish we have the opportunity for you to also delve into those things, and that we can see you as a stronger press. You are a free press already, but a stronger press, a responsible press, a partnership press will help us in these last 2 years to be able to achieve as much as we can, and to thank you for all that, you have done to keep the spotlight on us, fairly or unfairly, but that's your job, and we respect your independence and your ability to do so. Thank you.